Hi, this is Ken Lau. Now, HRD Corp says that the SME and large company needs data analysis, right? So you can see that the large is 45% needs data analysis, and the medium 34%. Even the small one needs 21%. And which are the department of function of business needs? Human resources, information technology, call center, consumer products, manufacturing products. So they need data analytical tools, right? Why do they do that? And why is it they need it so much? And what is the skill set that identified by HRD Corp that required this? Well, what is skill in demand, right? Is that in terms of technical skills, right? You need to have Microsoft Office, and you must some way to move yourself into data analytics, right? Sooner or later, right, your job no longer needed to enter data into Excel or Google Sheet, right? These are all will be automated. But here's possess a problem, as the data uh, is is an automatic capture, right? You need a way to clean it, to pick the data that you want. So they involve of some automations. I'll tell you in a short while. So automations will require a strong programming language skill, such as Python, SQL, R, Excel VBA. Um, there are just a few, and just that alone will not accomplish, right? You are just a robot. Then you need to have communication skill, right, among the team, because you are working in a big company. uh, Even you're not, right, you are freelancers, you still work with any other third parties. Today you cannot afford to work silo. No, not a possible way. So you need to learn to communicate well. You need to solve problems, a skill of solving problems, and analytical thinking. Right. So in fact, you need visual storytelling also. Okay. So back then in 2 years ago, I actually what do you call that? Just one moment, right? Let's see if I have that. Oh yeah, here. I attended this visual telling guru courses of visual storytelling workshop, right? So at the time, I started to change my presentations, right, from bullet point to visual, and you can see there. So what has changed so far is that the size of the data, according to this, okay, by venture bit, the data has changed, right? So we can see that you can actually go to this website and you can find the write up. It's the same write up. Now, what I've done is called preliminary analysis, right? I look at the data here, and then I look, okay, I can highlight it, I can bold it, but still that today business is about time, right? You need to present it in such a way that people are easier to understand, right? No need to go through all the line here. You can see there's a lot of line, right? Of course, you can look at it, right? Um, Many results. Well, and you have data automations, how to transform, right? So you can see that, for example, right in the first time, right, written by Tarim Rahim, right, uh, it's crucial for business consultancy. According to the international IDC, the global data sphere is expected to go 163 data, and that's equivalent to 163 trillion gigabytes at 10 times, or 10 times the amount of this. So, what does that mean? Um, um, since majority of the users are visual, right, you should come to developing a graphic like that, right? In 2016, it's 10 times. Now the data is 163 zettabyte. What does that mean? It's 10 times of what's recorded in 2016. It's 10 times, 10 times. So what you can do is that you can also put there as this, in case you find that, you know, now 10 times it grows to in just slightly, if you move until 2026, right, in 10 years time, uh, approximately 10 years time, it grow into 163 gigabyte. Okay, 100 gigabyte is about, it's talk about trillion gigabyte. Yeah, trillion. Anytime, anyway, you can see that it grows 10 times in 10 years time. 10 times it goes so fast, in terms of not just billion, is about there, right? So let me give you another example, is that the growth of the, okay, another example here, right? I captured it from statistics, right? So it says that if you read this article, right, then you then the people will think about, but you have a chart, you can do, okay. But still, right, this is not uh, uh, very easy to digest matter, right? So let's just talk about that. Let's say the third quarters and so on, right? So again, you can use the same technique. In 2012 to 3, right, Facebook have 1 billion, surpassed 1 billion for user in 2012, right? 2012. So it grows into one. It starts from a dot, or even you cannot see the dot as well, right? You can't see it. Or if you compare to today's, no, guys, it's so tiny. It's just like you grow a seed, okay? So tiny, right? Then you grow into that, and this in terms of fast, in terms of speed, in terms of growing speed, how fast it goes, right? So it's like in 10 years time it grows into this, and the size is growing a variety, because Facebook has WhatsApp and Instagram, so all these dots represent this. However, it's not the exact figure, exact data yet, because I don't represent Facebook. I just in the role of visual storytelling. Yeah. So let's come back to this, right? What is shared in the static car is this. So you can also think about that, right? It's very possible, because I myself post 10 posts uh, in the, what is it, in this in at least 10 posts in Facebook, and not talking about the WhatsApp, right? The WhatsApp, so many data here, so we can contribute to that enormous data set, right? So you can see that's why it's linking to this data here, right? So 10 times, 10 posts. As the people are more familiar in writing, in data sharing, right? They are more open to data sharing. They will share more, right? And it's the same thing applies to YouTube, right? I make one video, at least one video a day. There are so many people making one video a day, so the growth is tremendous. So same thing goes to the bank, right? There's a digital bank. So all this present a challenge. What is this? So why do now HRD say you need to have this kind of demands, right? Data. So as a fresh grad, you are expected to know Microsoft Excel, okay? But that is just the starting point. You need to, if you go to the company, you just start to learn Power BI, Power Query. Power BI consists of Power Query, Power Map, Power BI Desktop, and then some other automation tools. Okay, all these, right? If you want to have automated even further, you must learn programming language. Okay, again, it's just a must. Otherwise, you can see that Amazon first casualless store, right? This is like Omega Go or something like that. Okay, now you can see that in the MS opened its first schedule outside of US with a new amazing in London, UK. So you can see that again. Um, if you look at just one point, right, it make no much difference. But if you chat again in term of like a Facebook, today is one dot. But if you talk about blue ocean strategy, right, you always look at the growth, how fast is it, and how many points that point they can conquer, right? So there's new technologies allow to pick the items, take them out without having to stop and pay a cashier. It is very very uh, crucial that people need to learn because the data they go so fast, right? You need to learn about data automations. Uh, and the other thing is that like data automation is about saving time. Okay, so Amazon is actually applying the step of data automations. Okay, automations open its first outside with a new fresh. The store uses is a technology, so you see that it has to develop certain technology. Just walk out, which allow to pick. What does it mean, right? It means that it can pick, uh, and that without having to stop and pay a cashier. Um, so if that happens in Amazon, right, you can see that the same thing will will occur in Malaysia, in the Southeast Asia, Malaysia, in the very near future. That you, in fact, Tesco Malaysia show Tesco online already have this many years ago in UK. So it's automations, and soon if you work as a cashier now, uh, uh, the good news is that you're aware of it now, and you are still young, right? And you can change the job or keep learning something new, right? Such as move on to understanding what the business about, right? If your company keep you, they don't retrench you, they don't, and they continue to grow, like such as you're working in Tesco, and then you want to think about why do they talk about how to grow the company rather than doing some repetitive tasks, right? All these repetitive tasks will and must be automated. Why? Because your competitor, right? If you are Tesco and you don't do automations, your competitor, Amazon, is doing that uh, automations, allowing customer to pick up themselves. The customer like it, right? It's not driven to take out them, and the customer like it without having to stop and pay a cashier. So you have no choice. Industry Relation 4.0 is talking about this, right? And also about data automations, like such as in our Malaysia Top Glove, right, has this robot arm. What is it all about? It save time and money, improve business efficiency, and it can reduce errors, right? Because you won't, if it's humans, there is a lot of errors, and humans are no longer required, no longer need to do all these data validations. All this can be done by automation. So what's left is something to do with design, something to do with analysis, uh, uh, visual tiling. This is something that you want to, in this era at least. This is what I'm doing now, right? Um, so now let's look at this data here again, right? Um, so how would you collect, clean, and both all this data, right? This is huge data, How would you collect? How would you, you know, um, I mean, equal to this data size, right? So if you are this size of data, you might want to say, okay, I can manually handle it, or maybe like this, right? You can handle it. But as the data grow bigger, you chances are you can employ more people to handle it. But when the data has grow into humongous, right, hittergirls, then another strategy is again hire even more people, okay, and to handle this data. Okay, so what's what's the problem is that you hire more people, you more business costs, and but this is not just a business cost. It's in terms of error. Human tends to process data with errors, right? You copy and paste, copy and paste, copy to a wrong cell, then that's it. That's it, right? I did I show you that, right? Uh, yeah. Let me just show you one of these. Where is that B? Okay, there is a headshot data here. Right? Nope, not this. See, I'm just showing you that another data error here, so I can't tell you which one is it. But let's just say that I mean copy. I supposed to copy here, right? And then I copy here, and I paste it here, and I paste the wrong thing, right? That is the error, right? In this in those days you can still check it, but today the business grows so fast and competitor is so fast, right? You can't afford not to automate it because of competitor. Okay, so let's look at here, right? So how do you do that too? The data automation is crucial and is needed. What is data automation? Data automation is a process of uploading, handling, process the data via automated tools instead of manually performing. And what is the data automation about? You have extract, transform, load. Right, by the time I can read for you, and you can save time and money, reduce error. Like I just show you example. How do you reduce error? What kind of errors? One of these copy and paste things, right? There's a lot of errors that you can repeat. So later on, they also talk about that some example here, um, some advantages, right? Consistency of data is that one, and then reduce work, benefits, better data automations, right? So here's a checklist. So when is it that you want to do some data automations? Let's come back to the checklist. Where is the checklist? Yeah, it should be. No. Oh yeah, here. So this is the checklist, right? To decide is the right thing to automation. So you can say it's a data automation checklist. Okay. So which one is right? Okay. So how you check it? So when you design this what I call the visualize data, visual storytelling, right? You can always improve. PowerPoint give you excellent tools, right? You can just see that I'm doing it on the spot, right here, and customer like to see this also. Okay, they like to see, oh, what you do, right? I can just do that. Okay, now, yeah. So that's the requires. The first thing is that do you have frequency update? Well, like if you talk about the, creating a YouTube video, right? Do I need to frequently update the same video? No. So I don't need that. Do I need to manipulate before I upload the data? No, I don't. Right. So video wise, at least at my knowledge uh, landscape noise, right? I don't see yet, right? Maybe later some people will enlighten me. So how about the data, right? How is this growing like this size, or is it is it like that size, or is it go very huge? And in terms of speed, and does it come from a very different type of data? So for example, Facebook, right? You have from WhatsApp, you have from Facebook, Instagram. So all these data come from different data set, data system, right? So enterprise-wide, you have ERP, you have a supply chains, you have a customer service point of sales, all these, right? From the website, like Fashion Valley is my famous case study. They they have all this data from a different platform, from maybe from this website, from this YouTube, from the VV blogs, right? So all this behind there's a data. So you want to collect it and then do the so-called data crunching. But actually, it's called, in there is more. The term is called, you need to have ETL, right? Extract, transform, and load. So um, now, if you identify that your data change very fast, right, like monthly basis, weekly basis, right, the data keep updating, right, keep growing, keep changing, right, growing lesser, then it's a good candidate. And in terms of the size, right, and the size of it is a huge. If you're talking about you only a one-man show company like me, right? So my human resource data will not be there. But if you talk about Fashion Valley, right, then there is huge data changing, right? They grow from a three-man show into 150 employees, right? According to Wikipedia, right? In just last 10 years. 150, and it's still growing, it's still hiring more and more people for different design job. Like, yeah, they don't hire cashier, but they hire designer job, right? So you can see, um, that's the thing. So you have and they do actually hire more accounts also. So account is another area you want to consider, not to invest too much there. Yeah, accountants, right, they, if they don't learn about ETL, they will be phased out also, right? A lot of job that is all manually done, not without decisions making, then you can learn it, but ultimately you need to learn automation. So Microsoft has come up with ETL tools, right? Very helpful you. So let's look at another sections and talk about it, right? So there are data automation strategy. This is a very excellent write up, right? So there is a, so what do you do the automation strategy, right? Is that you have a classify data, outline the transformation, develop and test, and schedule data, right? Again, you can use the step here, change it to this, right? Which one is easier to read, right? If you want to present to your business decision maker, right? You want to use, tell them, okay, ask them to read this one by one, okay, right? But they say they don't have time. It's not just that they don't have time, it's that they are human. They are designed not to read this one by one unless they have a lot of time. Okay, a business decision maker have no much time. They want to you to do it visual, very tell fast. Um, okay, that is the future. This is a augmented featuring. I think this is very new, and if you are startup, talk about this one, right? When people not talk about it, you not talk about it. Explore on this because it's a new era. Not many people talk about it, right? I have not heard of this thing. It's, you heard of AI, but what is automated feature engineering? Search for it, right? So I got this data from this article from Astera Centropics, right? So you can find out more about them. Okay, so um, okay, that's about it, right? So I want to share you all this data, right? So if you recall my last video, I talked about some why we should learn Power BI. Now you know even better, right? Because in the IL 2.0, 1.0, right, copy and paste is enough, and you have so much time to copy and paste it to the right place. Then it comes that you copy and paste, but the data keep growing. Then you find that I need a new tools, and Microsoft knows that also. So they develop a VLOOKUP, and soon pivot table uh, change the entire strategy, right? If you study Microsoft Excel, they become a winner against the Lotus 123, right? I learned Lotus 123, and later on I moved to Microsoft Excel, all because of pivot table, right? The industry like pivot table so much, and along with other Excel functions. So why? Because it changed the game, right? Lotus 1 to 3 cannot cope with it, and coupled with other kind of data Microsoft has already done. Okay, so now in IR 4.0, internet age, massive data, change very fast, global connectivities. Right, Fashion Valley has data from Malaysia, from Indonesia, from Singapore, and soon, who knows, right? Vietnam, China. You also have many. In fact, there's also overseas data, UK, Australia, New Zealand. There are um, a lot of Malaysian work outside of Malaysia. So these are the people are concerned about that. Okay, so if you are talk about selling durian, right? Durian also have a lot of data, right? You can analyze it, but the data is there. So what do you do with the data? Yeah, you need to before you even talk about analyze the data. Do you need to go through the process of converting some the names as names to some full text name, right? Uh, maybe MY become Malaysia, right? So example, right? MY become Malaysia. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, MY, right? You want to do that become Malaysia, but this is done in all. If your data always download from let's say some uh, uh, what is the e-commerce site, and they always give you MY, and you always need to manually change it to Malaysia, then you need to hire more clerks to do that, or maybe certain numbers are supposed to be negative, you need to change it to positive. Let's say positive and become positive, and maybe a certain column change to another column, but you do it quite frequent. I'm talking about every single day, right? How do I know this? Because when I do a few years ago, Guardian is the pharmacy engaged me to automate their data. I don't know what is that. What at that time I have no idea what is data automation. All I know is just that I can use Excel VBA to handle that. So after I understand that, what I do is I actually draw a process map. I learned this because I'm a computing student, right? To me, it's a common sense to draw a map and then start charting and then see which way I want to automate it. But to others, it's not common sense. So I thank you for my mother and my parents to send me to a computing school, right, in Nila University, right. I learned this thing without awareness of that this is so important in this era. So now what the Guardian does is that yes, basically it sticks to have it downloads some day-to-day cash, credit cards, transactions, right, and we put into the Excel sheet, right. They still do that. I'm not sure they still do that. That process should be automated also. So then, and they need to take this data and then put into a certain format that the SAP needs. Okay, so why do they need a SAP needs, right? So I have no idea, but until now, I began to see that it is because you need to manage before processing it, because the data they need to centralize into, they need to unify into a different system, right? So that from the purchasing system you can use this data, same data to analyze the warehouse can use it to do planning, right? From the sales data you can use it to do planning. So all these involve of a very need transformation, right? And whether you do it manually, this is just a case, right? So then you know that identify these are the steps you need to manual, right? So you can chat it out. Okay, you chat it out. These are all the manual steps you need to do it. Like for example, the Guardian case is that you can still recall is that negative value become positive and then change to a different column. So that is another task. And then finally, they need to convert their Excel file into a CSV file and then rename that into a certain format with the date there. And then finally, okay, that process is then done by another process and then upload to SAP. So there is a final step where after you convert into CSV, there's still a manual job to upload to SAP. That is few years ago, right? When I do the exercise, the job. So the end result is, I told before I do the job, right? I told the guidance officers that, looks, currently you have 3 clerks to do this job, and soon after I complete the data automations, the 3 clerk is no longer needed. Do you have other job for them? They say, that one you don't have worry, right? Yeah, we have. So I said, okay, then okay, let's begin, right? So true enough, right? After 1 month of data process automation, coaching, the consulting, few weeks to consulting, and at the same time developing. After 1 month, all the 3 clerks, right? Let me just put a clerk. Let's see if I got a clerk here. Okay, let's just put a human. Okay, let's just call it a human, right? Not that nice, right? 1.5. So all the 3 clerks, right? As you know what, their job has been removed. No longer have the job to do the boring and data copy and paste, changing negative value um, to body, to negative value to positive value, and then save it as a different CSV file and different name. Every single day do the same thing. It's not only because that it's a boring job, but it's that they used to take 3 days to consolidate the 3 days before the data, but now they can do it within from 3 days, 3 clock. They can do it within 3 minutes or 1 minute, just a single click. It's all about the power of the data automation. One that identify that once I sit down and do the consolidated data for them, right? Um, they they the 3 guys have no more job. Okay, for that kind of task, right? They may be assigned to a warehouse. Okay, so there is then there's another skill set required, like warehouse managing, logistic management. So there are the areas that people need to reskill, and that's why in yesterday I watched IR industry, right? They talk about that all these days is there, and it's very crucial that reskill. Okay, this gentleman Alpes Factor, right? Voice market. They talk about reskill. Why reskill? Because a clerk no longer can do the job of clerk. They need to learn logistics. They need to move to warehouse. If you pick up the new language, new skill, you can have continued work. If you don't, then you can still make some cookings and then sell online. Yeah. So there are still a lot of opportunity. It's just that you cannot just say that, oh, I don't have job for casual. Need to do that. You need to learn a new skill, right? If you don't know how to cook, then you need to learn how to cook. And if you don't know how to cook, right, you can go to YouTuber Miss Sugu, right? Miss Sugu teach you how to make curry, Sugu Pavitra, right? There are so many video tutorial you can learn to do that. So, right. So that's why you need to do automation. Yeah. So remember, it's not an opportunity. Let's see, where am I talk about? Yeah. So you see, I put it into a PowerPoint. It's also easier for me to look at it at a glance. Okay. Oh, that's the one. Right. Let me talk about it. Should I talk about? Maybe I say that it's the end of it, right? But you can see that I have a lot of data that talk about it. So yeah. So data automations is a way to go, and it will not stop it will only continue more and more, right? Yeah, I talk about the guardian, right? So automation is there. Yeah, yeah. One more thing I talk about is this guardian. Okay, another example I can talk about is that I I I have a video talk about HR salary analysis. Yeah, so and behind is about costing. So there is a one HR professions, right? They're doing this manually, month by month, and consolidate the so-called consolidate from not so-called, it's a method called consolidate from different branches of data, and then in the process they need to so one of the process is to delete delete blank rows. Okay, and then what I recall is that then you need to, yeah, consolidate from different branch. Okay, okay, so now you can add, this is the surface of foundation. Once you have a PowerPoint, right, you can add your experience, right, either adding your own experience, then it become something uh, not like any others, right? Because your experience will make you as a very different person, right? Everyone has a different experience. You can use PowerPoint to illustrate that. Once you have that, and then you add some, some infographic, so you help people to understand. You help your business owner understand easier. Okay. Yeah. So talk about the HR, right? It takes this, and then the uh, when the HR professional find me to do some coaching, right, and then uh, after I use the Power Query part of Power BI to show her what to do, and her immediate remark is that after watching the video tutorial, and her immediate remark is that, "Wow, brother, you saved my life." Oh yeah, I saved a lot of data analysis and business analysis life. Yeah, I saved Levi's. There is a purchasing professional. She also said the same. Yeah, so I've been saving a lot of life, and then I saved uh, uh, a finance manager in the Bernas, right? She has this system that need to cleanse the data to do this um, monthly what do you call that, I talk about this, right, in my I talk about this in my teachable.com, right, because no others uh, because it's a case studies, right? No others people have it except my student. Okay, it's called the, oh yeah, aging, yes, aging. It's under my power, um, this power query. Okay, so here's the aging. It's only a few video, but the thing is that few videos help her, right? Because from a few days job become a single click. Power query is that powerful, and it is not options for a of our MNC or SME. It's not an option, right? You use it, you can reduce the data, reduce the error. So let's come back to, yeah, it can save cost, increase that, and if the data is consistent, there's quality in it. You won't delete the lines wrongly, right? Then you miss one line of very important data. Gone is the old story that Excel produce cost a business bankrupt. No, no, gone is those days, right? If you know what is ETL, where is it here? Okay, process automating right here. I have that call. Oh yeah, here, reduce error. See, reduce error. So it can reduce error, and then so you can load it into a structure that you can use in the structure. Then the pivot table or the pivot table can use it to analyze. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so let's come back to the. This is it. Yeah, good. So finally, there are also another process which I not like explore. It's called the job scheduling, workflow automation, etc. Right? I have no idea what is this here. Uh, until I have the idea, I will talk about it next time. So with that, that conclude why you need to learn uh, the skill and and reskill. Yeah, reskill. Talk about reskill. We have this industry 4.0. Where is it? Oh, gone. Oh yeah, here. Okay. Yeah, this is the one, right? So 4.0 IR 4.0 is about digital. It's about processing the data. The data processing is very dynamic because the data change very fast. You can't cope with human cannot cope with it. So you have to let the robots automations to help you. Your company have no choice, right? Just as Facebook has no choice but to engage more and more data analyzer, right? So no, going to that size, right? You need to automate. You need to extract the data, and then here comes to the machine learning, right? Let's here, right? Let's search for it. If you only have one, just machine learning. Is there anything? Machine learning. Yes, there is. Let's look at another one. Let's see if I have machine learning. So what's machine learning? Yeah, yeah, yes, this one have. So machine learning is trying to anticipate what would be needed. So as anticipate. If you heard of the word machine learning, it's trying to anticipate. So how do we anticipate? Is that you put a process, study what this client do, right? And then they anticipate. So Amazon use it, Shopee use it, Lazada use it, I believe Fashion Valley also use it. So they used to anticipate because every client is being tracked with a cookies. From here, in this example, is a client passport. It's still uh, an object, something to so that we know that assigned to this client, so we can track the behavior. This right, and then from there, used to be human to check. Okay, I can use the eyes and look at this one particular, or you can look at it. It's a shopping outlet that is at. You can imagine that a customer walk in into the shop, and then the sales assistant start looking, following the customer, look at that. Okay, she pick up this thing. Oh, look at, oh, she pick up that, and then she record out in the piece of paper, and then go to Excel and then type it out. Okay, that works many years ago, and today you have many automations, right? There is a CCTV can work on it and then check on it. Now if you're doing it online, is they get a system to track it. So after they track it, they need to kind of understand it, sorting the data, right? So there is something that can automate. But after that, the next level is to anticipate. So if this customer like to buy toys, right? What's the chances for them to buy another toy in the next 3 months? Anticipate, right? That is machine learning. Again, this is not my domain, right? Not yet explored. Machine learning is if your kids are studying, secondary, it's good to expose them to machine learning. Okay, I know a kid at 14 years old. He already at 14 years old in Malaysia, right? The school did not teach about Python. The school did not teach about AI, but he already self-learning. Okay, because so-called self-learning, because there's a lot of guru, expert willing to share the information to the world, right? In order to help people to reskill, upskill. Okay, so the tools is there. You need to learn, like what the Jack Well says that the only competitive edge that a company have, an organization have, is the learning ability and executing, applying it as fast as possible. Okay, then you can compete and you're faster than your competitor. So So one good example would be Amazon. Okay, Amazon compete with Tesco, right? Tesco, I don't know, you name it, Walmart, right? They all beat. So with that, I conclude my today message. Why do you need data automation? Bye. God bless you. Jesus love you.